And finally, we get to our last three problems that we're going to go over. Now, notice in this case, I only have three terms. So it's not factor by grouping. It's going to be just normal factoring a monomial out, meaning that we're going to take the most that we can take out of all three of them. So first thing we do is we look at the numbers. And we look at what is the largest number I can take out of 6, 21, and 24. Obviously, 6 cannot go into all three of them. 6 goes into 6 and 24, but not 21. So then we try to pick another number. So now let's try 3. So 3 goes into 6, 3 goes into 21, and 3 goes into 24. So we're going to take out a 3. So that means I divide everything by 3, not subtract it. Divide everything by 3, and divide everything by 3. And so I get those three things there. I get 2, 7, and 8. And then what I do is I look at the variables. Now, does everything have an x in it? This one does. This one doesn't. So therefore, I can't factor it out. Check to see where the y's are. Sorry, that's Oscar. He's being a brat. And so we have the y. So notice this has a y, this has a y, and this doesn't. And then we look at the w's, and there is no w here. So therefore, we can't factor anything else out. Sorry, he's crazy. And so what we have left now is what's written up there, 2x squared y minus 7y squared w plus, sorry, I'm trying to play with this little brat and write at the same time, 8xw. And so we have that as our final answer. That's the only thing we could factor out was a 3. Okay, now we get to a more difficult problem. So notice there are 4 terms, which means we can group them, or we're going to try to group them. So we're going to group these two. We are going to group these two, but notice now that there's a negative, this sign must change. So if it's a positive, it changes to a negative. If it's a negative, it changes to a positive. So in this case, it changed to a positive. So see my plus sign up there? I just changed it. Now we just do exactly what we did before. What's common to these two? 3 goes into both 3 and 6, so I can take out a 3. I have an n squared and an n, so therefore I can take out one n, and I only have a p in the second term, not in the first term, so the p has to stay there. So the 3 canceled out because 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then we have an n squared. We're going to divide that by n. So I just have, notice here I have a 1n because this cancels with that. So I just have n. And then we have plus 2. I also have to divide this out by n because that one has to also be divided by n. Those cancel. So I'm left with 2p. Then I do minus. Now I look at what I can take out here. Notice both of them do not have an n. Both of them do not have a 2, but both of them have 1p, so I can take out a p. And then I have n, because I divide this by p and this by p, so I just have an n, and then plus, because I changed my sign, and then I have 2p. Now we have 2 terms. Notice that my n plus 2t, which is together, comes out. I cancel those, so just so I know that I took them out. And then I have 3n minus p left over. There's my answer. Okay, finally, last problem. Now, how did I know this problem was a quote-unquote problem, or an issue, I guess is a better way to put it, is that notice this has a y, and usually when we're grouping, this should have a y or a number or something to make sure that it's compatible. But notice that the y is over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse or change these two here, not really change them, but I'm going to have plus y minus 2. Notice I did not change the signs of either one of them. They followed the variables there. And now I can group them. And because it's a plus sign, I don't have to change anything. So because it's a plus sign, I don't have to make this sign in here a positive or change it around because this is a positive. So what's common here? An x. I'm left with y minus 2 plus nothing comes out of y minus 2. I have these two terms. Y minus 2 is common with parentheses. Can cancel out the y minus 2's, and I am left with x plus 1. Remember when we divide y minus 2 divided by y minus 2, it's just 1. And now you have your second check. You have 24 problems. I did 6 of them, so you only have, actually I might have done 8 of them because I think I remember telling everybody they only had 16 problems. So I might have done 8 of them, but you don't have 24 total problems because I did quite a few. And that's it for for lesson 5 in module 10.